Hey everyone, welcome back. After days of intense and disruptive weather, there's finally a shift happening across Canada. The powerful Omega block that has been locking systems in place is starting to break down, and that means big changes ahead. But don't get too comfortable just yet. While some regions are warming up and drying out, others are still dealing with snow, rain, and lingering impacts from this slow-moving system. Let's break it all down so you know exactly what to expect heading into the rest of the weekend and beyond. Starting out west in British Columbia, this is where the best weather is right now. We're talking sunshine, above seasonal temperatures, and a strong warming trend that's going to stick around not just for a few days, but potentially for the next week or even longer. Temperatures are climbing into the mid-teens, around 15 degrees in Vancouver, and conditions will remain stable under a building ridge of high pressure. There is a slight chance of some isolated, convective showers early next week, but overall, this is a quiet and pleasant stretch of weather. Now, just east of there, it's a completely different story. Across Alberta and Saskatchewan, winter is still holding on. Temperatures remain below freezing in many areas, and we're still tracking snow, blowing snow, and even snow squalls as we head through Saturday. This is all tied to that same low-pressure system that brought heavy snow over the past couple of days. While it is starting to weaken, it's still spinning over the prairies and continuing to produce bands of snow, especially across central and southern Alberta and into Saskatchewan. Snow squalls are a big concern here. These narrow bands can bring intense bursts of snow, quickly reducing visibility and making travel dangerous. Even if snowfall totals don't seem extreme in every location, the sudden drop in visibility can catch drivers off guard. Looking at the bigger picture, the last 48 hours have already delivered significant snowfall across Saskatchewan, Alberta, and parts of Manitoba. And while the worst is behind us, additional light to moderate snow will continue through Saturday before tapering off into Sunday. By Sunday evening, we'll start to see this system finally pull away, with only some light snow lingering across parts of Saskatchewan. Now, temperature-wise, the prairies are split. Regina will struggle to get above 1 degree on Sunday, while Winnipeg, sitting on the warmer side of the system, could reach up to 12 degrees. That's a huge difference over a relatively short distance, showing just how sharp this transition zone is. Moving north, temperatures remain cold but fairly stable. Whitehorse is sitting around 10 degrees, which is relatively mild, while places like Yellowknife and Rankin Inlet remain below freezing with partly cloudy skies. Now let's move into Ontario and Quebec, where conditions are beginning to improve. Rain that moved through on Friday is continuing into early Saturday, especially across eastern parts of the Greater Toronto Area and into the Nickel Belt. But the good news is that this rain will start to taper off by Saturday afternoon, bringing an end to the wet conditions for many areas. Rainfall totals are generally in the range of 10 to 25 millimeters, which is manageable but still something to keep in mind given recent wet conditions. Ottawa and much of southern Quebec are actually staying relatively dry, and that trend continues through the weekend. In fact, Quebec is shaping up for a pretty nice stretch of weather, with a mix of sun and cloud and no major systems expected in the short term. However, we are watching another system that could impact northwestern Ontario early Sunday morning. This one may bring a few rumbles of thunder, as there is some instability in the atmosphere. So while southern Ontario gets a break, the pattern is still active just to the northwest. Temperature-wise, we're looking at highs around 9 degrees in Toronto, 13 in Ottawa, and warmer conditions reaching into southwestern Ontario, including Windsor and Thunder Bay, where temperatures could climb into the mid-teens. Now let's head into Atlantic Canada, where conditions are still a bit unsettled, especially across Newfoundland. We're continuing to track heavier snow across northern parts of the island, extending down toward the Avalon Peninsula. Mixed precipitation is also a factor, with periods of rain and snow switching back and forth as temperatures fluctuate. Through Saturday, temperatures may rise slightly, allowing for more of that mix, but as we head into Saturday night, colder air returns and precipitation will transition back over to snow in many areas. Snowfall totals could still add up, especially in northern Newfoundland, before conditions begin to improve. Across the Maritimes, including Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, expect a mix of light rain showers and flurries, particularly through Saturday. But here's the good news: high pressure is on the way. As we move into Sunday, conditions will begin to settle down, with improving weather and a gradual warm-up expected across Atlantic Canada. So the big picture here is a transition. The Omega block that has been dominating our weather is finally breaking down. That means systems will start moving again, and we'll begin to see a more typical spring pattern return. The West is already there, with sunshine and warmth. The Prairies are still dealing with the last of this winter storm but will improve by Sunday. Ontario and Quebec are drying out, and Atlantic Canada is next in line for a warm-up. So while it's been a very active and, at times, disruptive stretch of weather, we are finally starting to turn the corner. Make sure to stay updated, especially if you're in areas still dealing with snow or mixed precipitation, as conditions can still change quickly. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and enjoy the improving weather as we head into the new week.